We'll start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसश्चनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं ददायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धस्रवा स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षोररिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We are studying the Mandukya Upanishad, the Shankara Bashyam, the first chapter. We have finished the first two mantras. We are studying the third mantra. Mandukya Upanishad is very unique in presentation of Atma and Brahman, the very essence of this entire universe. In just 12 mantras, it gives a vision of the Upanishads. When we try to study this Upanishad on our own, we will not be able to get the essence of the mantras. When we study the Upanishad with the commentary of Shankaracharya on these mantras as well as Gaudapada Karikas, we get a more clearer view of this Upanishad. In the very first mantra, the Upanishad says everything in this creation is nothing but Omkara. So it talks about the macro creation. In the second mantra, it talks about the micro. It talks about Atma being Chatushpat. And it gives us the Mahavakyam, Soyam Atma Brahma. Now, in the third mantra, the first pada is being described. The three padas are waking, dream, sleep. The Chaturtha pada is Turiya. So when we analyze the Omkara Vichara and Atma Vichara in this Upanishad, the goal of the Upanishad is Ekatma vision in this entire universe. That means this universe is nothing but one Atma. So when we study the Upanishad, we should understand where we are going. What are we trying to arrive at? If the goal is Atma Ekatvam and the process is analysis of the three states of Upanishad, of our experience, the goal should be moksha. Moksha means I should arrive at the final Purushartha, which is Moksha Purushartha. Moksha means freedom from identification with the body as myself. So this is the broad picture. Let us go straight to where we stopped last week. And what we are analyzing is Vaishvanaraha. The macro aspect of this world is controlled by a devata. That devata is called as Virat devata or Vaishwanaraha. Why do we go to study the macro aspect and what is the role of Ishwara? Shankaracharya beautifully gives us this explanation in this Bhashyam, in the 35th verse. He says that this Vaishwanara has got two derivations. One derivation is this Virat Devata leads the jivas to specific experiences according to their karma palams. That is why he is the cosmic controller. Many of you ask these questions, why are we studying macro when we want to study Atma, the self? This is the reason. The study of the individual is not complete unless and until he finds an answer to the entire creation. So here the creation evolves of the karma phala, which jivas have to go through in every birth. Who controls this karma phalams? It is this Virat Devata. He is also called as Ishwara. He is also called as Hiranyagarbha. He is also called as Antaryami, according to the specific medium or the upadhi of a. I will go into those details later on. It will come in the explanations. The second derivation is that it is this Virat Devata, we call it God. It is he himself is in the form of all the living beings because he is their material cause. Material cause means what? We are all made up of Panchabhutas, number one. Panchabhutas means the five elements. Our body is made up of five elements. Who controls these five elements? It is Ishwara. It is this Vaishwanara. So there is a controller of the Panchabhutas in this universe. Because the Bhutas are controlled by this Vaishwanara, we have to understand the role of Ishwara in this world. Anekada Nayanam. Means this Vaishwanara takes the jivas to different directions. For example, you may go to London. Somebody else may be in India. I am maybe in Singapore. Another person may be in Africa. Why are jivas in different parts of the world? If you ask this question, then you can't find an answer. The only answer you can say is the karma phalam for each jiva is different. Therefore, you can go to higher lokas, you can go to lower lokas, and all this is led by the Virat Ishwara, who is responsible for creation of lokas and the karma phalams which are enjoyed in these 14 lokas. Anekada. See, these are all explanations of Shankaracharya's commentary. In manifold ways, this Vaishwanara controls the jiva. He controls, he also manifests as all of us. For example, if you ask any person, he will just say that I am born to my parents, that's all. But then nobody will say I am a manifestation of Ishvara. Upanishad gives us a new vision. It says that we are all divine. There is divinity everywhere. Vishwarupa Ishwara is the Jagat. So once you get to this chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, says that the entire universe is nothing my form. Lord Krishna says that. Sarva pindatma ananyatvat hetuhu vaishwanara eva vaishwanara. Ishwara is the cause of all the bodies because they are made of Panchabhutas, and he is the one who puts them together. How is this body made? There must be some controller. So Shankaracharya says he is the one who puts these Panchabhutas together and forms this body. Saha prathama padaha. The above described consciousness, which is associated with the sthula prapancha, is the first quarter. Got layers of personalities for the individual, and there are three corresponding prapanchas, totalities. The first pada, which the Upanishad wants to describe, is the sthula pada. Sthula pada includes sthula prapancha and sthula sharira. In the next comedy, Shankaracharya raises a question. See, this is the style of commentary. He makes us think. Shankaracharya makes us think. Why do you say that the first pada is this Sthula pada? Why don't you say it is the Karana pada? Is the That is the question he is raising in this portion, number 36. These numbers have been given for the commentary portions of Shankaracharya. So this is the 36th paragraph of the commentary. I have given you, all of you, the book with all the commentaries of Shankaracharya. If you go through that book, you will find this is the 36th portion. You see, all the three sharirams, that means my physical body, the subtle body, which is the mind, and the vasanas or the karana sharira, all are pervaded by this consciousness. But we take the first para as the Vishwa and Virat, which is the physical body and the physical universe. Karana Shariram is associated with the Chaitanyam also. So why don't you consider is the question of the Purvapakshi, opponent. To this Shankaracharya says, whenever you want to know your own nature as Turiya, you have to travel from gross to the subtle. But when you want to understand the creation of the universe, you have to go from subtle to gross. Because then only understanding becomes easier. So to go to Turiya, you have to first resolve the gross universe. The gross universe has to merge with the subtle universe. That is the process to understand the essence of creation. Then the Sukshma Shariram and the Sukshma Prapancha is resolved into Karana Prapancha. The final resolution of Karana Prapancha is with Turiya. This is the way we understand creation. We start from what we are seeing in the world as creation and then try to go deeper into the topic of what is the adhishtanam of the entire creation. So the first pada has to be gross, the later pada has to be the sukshma and the kara. So for example, when you are wearing while you are wearing your coat, you start wearing your banyan shirt, then the coat. But while removing, you take out the coat first, then the shirt, and then the banyan. So similarly, for resolution, it is a reverse order. For creation, it is Karana Sukshma Sthula. That is how we are trying to understand creation. This is just a side topic. It is not it has got nothing to do, but this is how the commentary flows. See, this is the second mantra which preceded this the third mantra. Sarvam etad brahma, I am Atma Brahma, soyam Atma Chatushpat. This Atma has got four quarters. Now, in the next commentary paragraph, the 37, Shankaracharya says, when the topic has been initiated, we talked about the individual in indwelling the self, which is referred in the Upanishad as the self, which is Brahman. Why now taking Virat, Swarga Loka, etc. is the question. The next question. First question was why we are considering the first pada as the Virat. There Shankara gave an explanation. Now the next question is how is the individual associated with the prapancha traya and not the sharira? See, this is the second doubt which somebody had also, Shanta had asked this question in the last session. I said, you wait, you come back to this in the next session. So here the question is, first you talked about creation, then you are talking about resolution. Upanishad presents creation first, prapancha, and then it doesn't talk about the individual shariram first. It only talks about the creation first. Then only it says that this jiva who is experiencing this world is made up of four quarters. Because now the jiva wants to resolve this universe and find out what is the essence behind this universe. Atma, the individual self, is associated with three sharirams, but not the prapancha, is the question of Purvapakshi. Why are you mixing Vyashti with the Samashti discussion is the broad question which the Purvapakshi is asking. I want to know who am I, but you are telling me the world is made up of Virat, Hiranyagarbha, Antaryami, Turiyam. Why don't you start and talk about Atma first, which is the self, which is the individual Sharira. Katham I am Atma Brahma iti. How you equate? These are the same. This is the explanation of the Shankaracharya's commentary. I have given you the gist, but this is the explanation about the commentary where the Purva Pakshi's question is being raised. And then Shankaracharya replies, he says, Naisha doshaha. Naisha doshaha means there is no blemish in my explanation or in the explanation of the Upanishad. Why? Because the Shruti wants to point out the entire universe, which is the physical portion, including the Devata, which is controlling the universe. That Devata is not only controlling the Virat the physical universe, but that devata is also controlling the individual sharir. Now he brings the topic of Atma, Adi Bhuta, and Adi Deva. This is another way of classifying the universe. Universe can be divided into prapanchas. It can be classified in this way also. So now Shankaracharya's reply is he is taking the three terms. Adhyatma. I will explain to you the three terms. Once you get the explanation, this will be very clear why there is no dosha in the Upanishad. Paramatma is the Srishti Karanam, cause of the universe. The whole universe is from Ishwara, and Srishti, the creation, is a Karya. It is a product. So there is a cause and there is a effect. So what is the cause? Ishwara with the Maya Shakti, which is the Upadhi medium of Ishwara, that is the Tat Padartha. That is the creator. What we do is by Bhaga Tyaga Lakshana, that means we try to remove the uncommon features and retain the common feature in the universe. What do you mean by that? When we negate the upadhi, the prapancha of Ishvara and the shariram of a jiva, negate the physical portion of vyashti and samashti, inside and outside. What do we arrive? We arrive at one consciousness, Brahman, which is all pervading. Now, Shankaracharya is asking, is this consciousness confined to just one body, or is it all pervading consciousness? Micro and macro differences are there in the Sharira and in the Prapancha at the Sthula level. But at consciousness level, which is the observing principle, the Sakshi, micro and macro are not there. So when you do Mahavakya Vichara, Soyam Atma, this Atma, Brahman, when you say this Mahavakyam, what you're trying to do is you are removing the superficial uncommon features of Jiva and Ishvara, and you're holding on to that Adhishtanam, which is called as Turiya Brahman, which is called as consciousness. If you hold on to that Turiya consciousness as that I, absolute I, relative I is I am a waker, Vishwa. But absolutely, who am I? I am the consciousness. Without the consciousness, there is no creation. Upanishad wants us to say that I, the consciousness, am as all the 6 terms which we are using in Mandukya. Try to understand this. This is a central portion of Mandukya Upanishad. This is the goal. I alone, I means pure consciousness alone, which is what we are in our sleep state. As per Prashna Upanishad, there is a manam which says in the sleep state, you are Brahman, you are Turiya Brahman. That is what is the pure state of ours. This state where we have a body, mind, and then we have got vasanas, this is the impure state. us. It is not only one body, all the body. This is now we are talking at creation as a whole. So when we are able to say, I am that one consciousness which has got no differences of micro and macro. Micro and macro is mithya prapancha. It is only an appearance and disappearance in consciousness. Then I can accept the Upanishadic statement, I am Atma Brahma. What I'm trying to explain to you is the Mahavakya. I am Atma Brahma, which is there in the Upanishad in the second mantra. So, in order to explain the second mantra, the Upanishad analysis has to be done in this format of the individual, micro, and the macro. So now you're trying to, now you get the point. Why we bring in macro and micro into the picture? Because we want to reach that pure consciousness in which there is no micro. Kaivalya Upanishad has this beautiful mantra. The 19th mantra is Mayeva Sakalam Jata. 20th mantra is Anoraniya Ahameva Tatvat. What does this mantra say? This whole universe, there are things which are atomic in size, and there are things which are very, very big. But it is the same consciousness which is appearing in this manifold form. It is the same Purusha. See, in this mantra of the Kaivalya Upanishad, we have finished Kaivalya Upanishad. This was the first mantra Upanishad we took for our analysis. And here, consciousness is given the names of ancient one, Purusha, supreme ruler, effulgent one. These are all the names. These are all the names of one consciousness and ever auspicious. Shiva Rupam Asmi. Hiranmayoham. Hiranmayoham means I am the effulgent one. I am the brightest one in this entire universe, which is consciousness. So, by merely saying I am the Chaitanyam alone is not enough. We have to also meditate and be able to dissolve the Sthula Shariram into Sukshma Shariram, Sukshma Shariram into Karana Shariram. But what is the methodology? The methodology is the Shariram is dissolved into Prapancha. Individually is dissolved into Prapancha in the total. At the Sthula level, Sukshma level, Karana. That is why you have the three letters of Om. When you chant Om, you should understand this meaning of the entire resolution of cosmos. When you chant Om, all this cosmos comes into play at three levels. But when you are focusing on the silence part of it, it is apavada. That is, you are negating the entire creation and you are holding on to the substance, which is Turiyam Brahma. In Bhagavad Gita, there are two verses. These two verses, the 9th chapter, 4th verse, and 5th verse. Shankaracharya in Mandukya Upanishad quotes this mantra almost like 25 times in his entire commentary. 25 times he quotes these two mantras. He takes this mantra as the root of the entire Bhagavad Gita in terms of Vedantic teaching. What does this mantra say? Normally, when we study Bhagavad Gita, these two mantras, everybody says, I don't understand. Because when we study Bhagavad Gita, we are not so well prepared. Our mind is not so developed. Spiritually, we are not evolved. But today we are evolved. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagata praktamurtinaha mastani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu astitaha. This verse says, this entire world is pervaded by me. That means adhyaropa. Adhyaropa is a process, it's a technique. The whole world is superimposed on consciousness. First part. In the next part, immediately it says, Nachamastani bhutani pashyameyogam Ishwara. Bhuta bharna chadha bhutastha mamatma bhuta bhavana. It says that in the first verse, he said, the world is in me. The world, everything is in me. Now he says, nothing is in me. World is not in me. That means what? It is the apavada portion. Adhyaropa, apavada. In the second verse, in the fifth verse, Lord Krishna says, now you remove the world from me because I can independently exist as consciousness. That when the world appears, I can say that the world is in me. But the world also disappears in the sleep state. At that state, how am I? World is not in me. I am all alone. When he says I am all alone, that is what Upanishad is holding on to. That is why the fifth mantra, I, the self, am the efficient cause of all beings, means what? I can exist without the universe. So, Shankaracharya quotes this mantra of Apavada and Adhyaropa. Apavada means negation. The world is superimposed in consciousness, is Adhyaropa. And world is not in me is negation. So mere negation leads to escapism. That's what Shankaracharya wants to say. Suppose you say, no, I drop my sukshma shariram, stula shariram, and I want to just escape from this, and then I only chant the first portion of Nirvana Shatkam. What is the first portion of Nirvana Shatkam? Nirvana Shatkam, the first portion is, it says that I am not the body, I am not mind. That's all. Suppose you stop, you say this and you stop. Shankaracharya says that is escapism. It is not complete understanding of the Upanishad or about your own reality. You have to follow that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the thoughts, I am not the sense organs. With Shivoham Shivoham. Shivoham means I am that Shiva, that Turiya Atma, in which all is get resolved. So even while facing the world, see, we are all in the world and we all experience problems of the world. There is not a single human being in the universe who says, I am extremely happy with my living and there are no problems for me. Nobody is there. Believe it or not, nobody is there. They may not even tell you, but they all have problems. What Upanishad says is, let the problems come, you face them. Don't try to run away from the problems. But only one thing, you only say, in the Upanishad, what it tries to explain to us is, these problems are not factually there. It is appearing and it will disappear. You may say there is a disease which I have been having for the last 20 years. It doesn't disappear. But after some time, it will go away. Body itself will go away. But then consciousness never goes. That is what it is trying to tell you. Hold on to that consciousness, the observing principle, and say, they are in me, but I am not in them. This is a very important two mantras of Bhagavad Gita. Why heart them? Because We are going to see this mantra 25 times in the entire Mandukya Upanishad commentaries. Again and again, Shankaracharya will remind you of these two verses because he wants us to remember the immanent portion of consciousness and transcendent proportion of consciousness. In the fourth capsule of Vedanta, we say that I, as consciousness, am never affected by any event in creation. So, this is a very important point for those people who study Upanishads. In the deep within your heart, you should say, problems are there. I will solve it to the best of my ability. I cannot stop the problems. They will come, but I know how to face them. Because I have deep inside me, I have this knowledge that I am nothing in the universe can affect me, the consciousness. Nothing. At any time, remember this one so nothing in the universe affects me, the consciousness, the Atma. So don't escape from the world. Let the world be there. It is only known factually, it is not there. It is only an appearance like the dream. Mandukya Upanishad wants us to say, my Prathama Pada is Virat, not Ishwara. Virat is totality. I am the consciousness. Now, this is a very unique thing in Mandukya Upanishad. The Upanishad wants us to look at the totality and say that this totality is my consciousness, this totality appears. I alone am the Hiranyagarbha, I alone am the Ishwara. In Taittiriya Upanishad, this verse comes in, Ahamannam, Ahamannam, Ahamannado, Ahamannado. This verse says that this food is nothing, this body is nothing but the food, and this food is nothing but consciousness. And here in this Taittiriya Upanishad, which we are doing on Saturdays, it says this is the third chapter, the 10th section of the third chapter. We have yet to do this in the Saturday class. The third chapter is yet to begin. So in the 10th, this is almost the end of the Upanishad, of Taittiriya Upanishad, where a jnani who has got the final knowledge. What is the final knowledge? Ekatma Tattva. There is only one consciousness. Don't forget this. Whether you study Taittiriya Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad, the goal is only one thing. What is that? I am that Atma or Brahman. Whether whether you understand it today or not, but doesn't matter. But that is the goal. With reference to that goal, this mantra says that I am an immortal consciousness. I am the center of immortality. See how beautiful this mantra is of Taittiriya Upanishad. I am the firstborn Hiranyagarbha at the macro level. I am in the sun as the consciousness, the Devata in the sun. See, this is the final study. The Jnani has understood the Upanishad inside out. So in his opinion, there is only consciousness which is existing and everything else is an appearance. Appearances are mithya, consciousness is satya. That is what we also have to learn to say after we finish this Upanishad. The goal is clear, but how we say it, because my intellect has to get convinced. To convince the intellect only, we study the Bhashya. Chatushpat Atmajnanam is very important. Merely saying Nirguna Ishwara or Nirguna Atma exists, that is not enough. Earlier, I had said that we need to resolve the universe into this consciousness. Therefore, I welcome the gunas. I say the three gunas are the Maya Shakti, which is the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. That is the name of Maya Shakti, which belongs to this consciousness. In Mandukya Dhyanam, I am not the Vishwa Taijasa Prajna alone, but I am Virat Hiranyagarbha Antaryami. Understanding level, cognitive level, you can't change the universe. Universe will remain the same. You will continue to see the same universe every day, even when you become a jnani. But internally, you undergo a transformation in your mind. In your mind, you get this knowledge, and this knowledge lights up the Atma in this body. Manobuddhi chittani naham. The problem is when you chant this, you're negating the body, mind, intellect. You're getting away from the world. That means you are accepting duality as real. But when you negate and you welcome the problems, what happens? You are saying that the problems are mithya and you are holding on to the adhishtanam. Why you are able to hold on to the adhishtanam consciousness? Because asangoham. I am not afraid of the existence of the problems in me because I am the screen. Movies are going on. Even yesterday in the session class, I explained the same thing. The Prarabdha movie keeps on going for all of us. Happy in the morning, again in the evening, we're sad. Again, you see, these are all thoughts which come in our mind, and mind is nothing but Maya Shakti. Each body has got that Maya Shakti. That is why that macro Maya Shakti is seen in the individual bodies also. I am the Shuddha Pataha. I am the screen, which is ever pure, ever clean, and it can never be affected by anything in the creation. So finally, Shankaracharya says, Naisha doshaha, the mixing of Yashti and Samashti is not a defect. Sarvasya prapanchaya, the entire sthula Iram and the prapancham belongs to the Adi Deva, which is the Virat Devata. So the Virat Devata is the Prathama Pada. The Virat Devata is a sentient controller of the Prapancha as well as the Sharira. So the first pada includes Vishwa at the individual level, the jiva, and the totality, which is the devata at the Virat level. By doing this, what happens? What is the advantage I get by doing this? The next commentary of Shankaracharya says, the advantage of understanding the creation in this format is only when you have made this presentation in this way, we can negate plurality and dvaitam, duality. What is the jagat? Jagat is plurality. That means there are so many bodies, there are so many instruments which are experiencing the different objects and creations. By understanding that the individual is nothing but the samashti, you can resolve it and come to Advaitam. Advaita Siddhihi is the benefit of understanding or resolving the individual into the total. Every jiva has his own Vishwa Taishya Prajna. Vishwa Prajna means what? Gross body, subtle body, causal, and experiences in that. As many jivas, there will be so many turiyams. That is what the blunder of all other philosophies. Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika, these are four philosophies which were very prominent during Shankaracharya's time. These four philosophies are taken up in the entire commentary of Shankaracharya in Mandukya Upanishad. We will be discussing very big details of all these four philosophies as we go by in the commentary. Now, at this stage, one thing you should understand is all other philosophies, they are Dvaita philosophies. And Advaitam is the only philosophy which belongs to the Vedanta group, which says that this whole universe is non-dual in nature, which means Advaitam in nature. Non-dual means Advaitam. You will understand the concept of Advaitam in the second and the third chapters. More details. But here it is enough to understand that there are other philosophers who says that there are many Atmas. Each body has got one Atma. Atma Bahutva Vada is there in Sankhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaiseshika. This does not give moksha. Dvaitam is Anir Moksha philosophy. For example, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, that is the Yoga Sutra. Tada Drashtuhu Swarupe Avasthanam. This is the Yoga Sutra. Like we have the Brahma Sutra, the Yoga philosophy also has got their own sutras, aphorisms. So it says you remove all your thoughts. Then what do they say? They don't come to, after you remove all the thoughts, they say there is an observer and there is an observed nothingness. I am observing nothingness in my mind. That is the ultimate philosophy of yoga. After removing all the thoughts, you abide in your Atma. That Atma is what? Dvaita. You are seeing nothingness. You are seeing yourself as a separate from observer. Observer and observed are two separate entities in yoga philosophy, in also in Sankhya and in all other philosophies. Therefore, yoga does not talk about ek drishti avasthana. Ek drishti means what? There is only one Atma in creation. There is only one consciousness. That is Advaita. When you do this type of study, you will understand Advaitam much more clearly. That is why Shankaracharya brings out all these discussions. Having Advaita vision alone gives moksha is Shankaracharya's vision of Upanishads. Suppose you study Upanishad come to Dvaitam, according to Shankaracharya, you will be still in samsara. Before study also you are in samsara. After study also you are in samsara. So why study? That is what is Shankaracharya's argument. Stula sharirams are many, but Stula prapancha is one. Vishwa Virat Aikyam is resolved in the beginning itself so that you don't hold on to Vishwa and Virat when you come to Turiya. When you come to Turiya, you must learn to resolve everything in creation and say that Atma alone exists. You are resolving Shariratrayam with Prapanchatrayam. Then only you can say Advaita Chaitanyam alone remains. See, these are all the conclusions which Shankaracharya makes about the entire Vedanta. He says that Dvaitam is not a correct vision. Advaitam is ekatmavadi. And that is what gives you moksha. In Taittiriya Upanishad, we have studied this in Saturday class. What do? Shankaracharya reminds us that in Taittiriya Upanishad, we resolve the Annamaya Kosha into the food. Annamaya Kosha is born out of food, it resolves into food. That means individual is resolved into samashti. Food belongs to the samashti. It is the resolution ground. Individual shariram, annamaya kosha, resolves into annam. So anna the way praja prajayante. See, this mantra is from Taittiriya Upanishad, the second chapter, second section. Many of you will remember this mantra. How it is being done? Shankaracharya is trying to compare Taittiriya Upanishad with Mandukya. And he says, even in Taittiriya Upanishad, each kosha is individual. It is individual koshas. It is resolved into samashti. The same thing is done in Mandukya also. Individual shariram is resolved into man. So first we did annamaya kosha resolving into food, samashti. Next comes the pranamaya kosha in the third section. Pranamaya kosha dissolves into the samashti prana. Prana devan anuprananti. This is the mantra. So you resolve the five koshas from individual to the samashti. Anandamaya kosha resolves into the last kosha is the prajna. Prajna means at the individual level. Ishwara is at the macro level. So this is a very significant observation of Shankaracharya that individuality has to be merged with the totality. Okay, so see how beautiful this commentary evolves. When you go through this type of understanding of the universe in this type of format, then you will come to Ekatma Tattvam. The next commentary verse is the 40th verse. What does he say here? Atma exists in all the beings and it is to be understood as one Atma. Similarly, bodies of all living beings exist in one Atma. You see, there are two things. One is when you focus on the Atma and say Atma is there in all the bodies. Reverse is also true. All the bodies, Sarva Bhutani, they exist in one Atma. Then what happens? Then he says, how do you resolve it? You say the bodies are mithya, they are prapancha, they are only seen appearances because of the sense organs. What really exists is consciousness, which is what we are. In the waking, also we are consciousness, but we don't understand this if you analyze only the waking. You understand the waking with reference to sleep. In sleep, I am Advaitam. Waking, I am Dvaitam. So here, Shankaracharya makes this point that Advaitam is the essence of creation. One who sees all beings in oneself, which is the Atma, he is the one who can understand Turiyam. Very beautiful analysis of Shankaracharya. He brings in Ishavasya Upanishad, the sixth mantra of Ishavasya Upanishad. He brings it to show how the sixth mantra of Ishavasya is connected with the Bhagavad Gita, chapter, fourth and fifth verse, and the Mandukya Upanishad, the third verse. How all the three are connected. And then he is going to bring in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. He is going to bring in Chandogya Upanishad. All this he will do. So you get a complete feast of all the Upanishads when you study Mandukya. You may not have studied Ishavasya, but here we will study this mantra, which is here. But before that, let me explain to you the comment. What he says is, if one has not understood Atma as the non-dual Turiya, and he still believes in duality, then he will always be limited. He will never have moksha. Exactly like what Sankhya said. Sankhya philosophy said that individual is limited and Paramatma is limitless. They always took Dvaita. And they said Paramatma has one Atma, Jivatma has many, many Atmas. So he is comparing the Advaita philosophy with the Sankhya philosophy in this portion. Advaita and Sankhya, the difference is Sankhya is Dvaita philosophy and Shankaracharya or Gaudapadacharya, they propound Advaita philosophy. Advaita philosophy gives moksha. Sankhya philosophy helps you to remain ever in samsara because you can never dissolve Paramatma and Jiva. That is the essence of this shlok. Therefore, he says the Shruti Vakyam, which talks the Saptanga and the Virat Upasana of Chandogya Upanishad. You see, he brings the Chandogya Upanishad. He reminds us of Chandogya Upanishad. Just last week, we studied the 7 limbs of Ishwara. And that is coming from Chandogya Upanishad. See how he is connecting all that, and ultimately what he wants our intellect to understand oneness in this entire universe. Ishavasya Upanishad, Yestu Sarvani Bhutani Atmanye Manu Pashyati Sarvabhuteshu cha Atmanam Tato na Vijupsate. He who sees everywhere the self in all beings, he is the one who never hates anybody. This is one mantra of Ishavasya Upanishad. The sixth and the seventh mantra of Ishavasya Upanishad are the Mahavakyas of Ishavasya. Normally, here, now we are going through the meaning of the commentary. Sarvabhutascha Atma. This is Shankaracharya's commentary. Normally, we talk of Aikyam at the Chaitanya level. Stula Shariram to Stula Prapancha Aikyam is talked about in Mandu. Because right at the beginning itself, the Upanishad wants us to start resolving gross individual to gross samashti, subtle individual to subtle samashti at every level. Similarly, causal individual to causal samashti. After Chaitanya Aikyam, you have to claim I am Vishwa and Virat also in Mandukya Upanishad. You will see how. You see, this is how this is how he is just telling us the methodology of the Upanishad in the third verse. Why the third verse is being described as the first pada and consisting of 7 limbs and 19 counters. 7 at the samashti level, 19 at the individual level. Why all this is given is because ultimately the goal is Eka Atma Turiya Atma. Conscious inside every living being is one. That means the content in my body, the content in your body is the same consciousness. The reverse is also true. All beings are in one Atma. All bodies are in one. Vyashti level, Samashti level. Atma is an all. Atma is the content of all. Sarvabhutascha Atma. Sarvabhutascha Atmani. Two sentences are there. One is at the Vyashti level, another is at the Samashti level. What we have to understand is, in this entire universe, there is only one consciousness, and which is appearing as this Paramatma and Jiva. That is the meaning. That is what we want to arrive at. This Ishavasya Upanishad is the source book for Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 29th and the 30th verse. The 6th and the 7th of Ishavasya is the source. Bhagavad Gita, the source of all the verses of Bhagavad Gita is the Upanishads. Now here, what does the sixth chapter say? Sixth chapter is the chapter of meditation in Bhagavad Gita. Sarvabhutascha Atmanam Sarvabhutani Atmani Ikshate Yoga Yuktatma Sarvatra Samadarshanaha. Lord Krishna teaches Arjuna. What does he say? He says, the one who sees the self abiding in all the beings and all the beings himself, he sees the same everywhere. Now you will be able to understand this. The one who sees consciousness in all the bodies and all the bodies in consciousness, he has got samadarshanaha. He has got one vision of the universe. What is that vision? Atma ekatvam darshanam. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. He who sees me here means consciousness. Again, Lord's form is what? Not the physical body of Lord Krishna. It is the spiritual being in Lord Krishna's body. He who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. The whole creation, Virat creation is in consciousness. One who sees in this way, one who has got this vision, what happens to him? He never gets separated from me, nor do I get separated from him. See how Lord says, you have merged into me. I have merged into you. Not that you have, I also have merged into you. There is only one pure Atma. The cosmic being is content of the cosmic being is Atma. See Atma both as the content and the Adhishtanam. When do we see it as the content? I am the Sakshi in this body. I am the consciousness. It is I who am aware of all the thoughts in my mind. When do I see it as Adhishtanam? When I go to sleep, the entire body gets resolved. The universe also gets resolved. Into which Adhishtanam? That is the pure existence principle of consciousness. So the 6th mantra we have seen of Ishavasya. The 7th mantra is Yas Sarvani Bhutani आत्मैव भूत विजानतः तत्र को मोहः शोकः एकत्वम् अनुपश्यतः. The Ishavasya says that one who knows all beings are in his Atma, after knowing this knowledge, after having this Turiyam knowledge, that the Atma is the Adhishtanam, it is the content of the whole creation, how can he ever have grief in this world? How can he ever have delusion after this knowledge? Very powerful mantra of Ishavasya. Ishavasya is a very difficult uh, Upanishad to understand. The teaching is up to the seventh or eighth verse. After that, it is all Upasana portion, very difficult to understand. But up to the seventh verse, eighth verse, it's easy. It is quite, and these are the Mahavakyas. Upasamhritaha, by resolving Vishwa and Virat, you are reinforcing the oneness, substantiating, corroborating, restating the oneness, which is the aim of Mandukya Upanishad. If this is not done in the beginning in the Veshtiya Samashti level, then Dvaitam can't be resolved, and always you will find that your mind is chanchala. It doesn't have a sthira prajna. Suppose you have a sthira prajna, what happens? Chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, from 55 to 72nd verse. Whole section you will understand very well when you understand this portion of Mandukya. If oneness is understood in the Veshti and Samashti, your prajna, that means your reflected consciousness, will be sthira. It will not be dwindling. It will not be happy. It will not be so all the time going up and down because you have thoughts about the world. You will know how to make that mind which is dwelling in the external world, how to bring it into sthira buddhi by understanding the ekatva atma principle. Consciousness will be seen to be confined to one body as pratyagatma. If you see atma as many, for example, Rama is inside the house, but he's not outside the house because the atma is in his body. You are focusing on the body portion, not on the atma portion. So then what you will say, your atma is in your body, my atma is in my body, then you will talk about Turiya. So inner self is understood, which is confined to a body, is Sankhya philosophy. What is Advaita philosophy? One consciousness in all the bodies. Chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita, third verse. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi. You know that there is only one Kshetrajna in the entire creation. So this is the unique teaching of Upanishad. Atma ekatva darshanam. This is what I have been mentioning almost 5-6 times. I have mentioned this word. Atma ekatva darshanam. I am I, you are you, world is world, God is God, is Sankhya philosophy. They have missed the Atma ekatva. Sankhya accepts the Veda. Asti. Veda asti. They believe in the Veda, but they conclude wrongly. This is the ultimate seventh mantra. I will not give you the meaning of this, but just to give you na anta pragyam na bahishvatyam no bhayata pragyam. This is the ultimate definition of this one consciousness which exists in all the bodies. We see the meaning of this. This is the central verse of the 12 verses of Mandukya Upanishad. Three words are used: Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. This is the Bauddha philosophies. They believe in Shunyavadin. They don't accept Veda. Sankhya accepts the Veda. So, but they conclude wrongly. Yoga also accepts the Veda. They conclude wrongly. Yoga enters Nirvikalpa Samadhi. They enter into the Nirvikalpa Avastha, but they are not able to reach Nirvikalpa Vastu, which is Atma. I am the experiencer of nothing. Many people have this confusion. In meditation, I am there, but I experience only nothingness. There's nothing in my mind. That is still Dvaita. You have to drop that and say that nothingness is also resolved into the observer. Yoga cannot prove Advaitam. Advaitam requires a study of Upanishad regarding the factual non-duality in spite of the Dvaita experiences and appearance. It's a very important statement. What Shankaracharya says is, all of us, we will still, our sense organs will perceive Dvaitam only. They are designed for Dvaita. Subject object will be experienced in our waking state, in our dream state, and in our sleep. Now, in spite of Dvaita experiences, I have to understand Advaitam is the fact. Consciousness is one in which all these are coming and appearing and resolving. Like the sun never rises or sets. That is the understanding. But experience, I see the sunrise and sunset. I also do puja. I also do sandhya vandanam. I also do so many things. These are all for worship and for vyavahara purpose. At the paramarthika level, we know that the sun never rises. Same type of understanding we should have with reference to this body and the world, that everything resolves into one consciousness. Then Mandukya will be understood. But suppose you say that um, Atma is many, like Sankhya or Yoga, then what you will miss out the moksha portion. Ishyate cha sarva Upanishada. All the Upanishads have got one central message, and that is Atma Ekatva Bhavana. Once you get this Atma Ekatvam, you can never forget it in your life, because it is a knowledge which you have picked from the study of Upanishads. Okay, I will close now here. Next week, I will do a revision, which is this slide number. We have about 10-15 slides for revision. So I have said a lot of things today, but don't worry, revise again one more time, and we'll conclude the third mantra next week. Okay, so this is a revision portion. In the end, we will conclude and say that this is the ultimate this is the ultimate anvaya of the third mantra. So there will be a lot of revision next week, and one or two bhashyams we will study, commentaries. 42nd is this bhashyam, which we will do. 41 and 42 will do next week. It will be done after the revision. Why I will take this revision is because there is a lot of knowledge and a lot of vision which our intellect has to develop when we study Mandukya. Every verse is important. After this verse is the next level is the dream state. After that is the sleep state. Sleep state is the most interesting. It's very, very beautiful. You will never get that type of analysis of Shankaracharya anywhere. For the fifth and the sixth mantra, very beautiful analysis. Okay, so I will stop. I will start with this 184 slide next week. Oh, Namada, Namidam, Purnat, Purnamudachade, Purnasya, Purnamadhaya, Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay. Rama Chandramurthy, uh, the notes which are shared by you with the slides you are sharing. In case you need these slides which I am sharing, I can send it to you. So you can revise these, revise as per the slides. I have made some corrections in the notes. Bharat from London is helping me uh, with the notes. So there are some corrections which are there. So in case you want the latest notes, anyway, I will send it to you, Rama. You can use the notes which are there as per the slides. Uh, how to do Anusmaranam? Anusmaranam means basically repetition of whatever you have learned, remembering whatever you have learned. What I suggest is when you study this Upanishad, keep a small book, just write down the ideas which you think are relevant to you from Atma standpoint. Don't look at it, don't write anything with reference to the body level, mind level, and so on. Uh, try to understand Atma as it is being presented by the Upanishads. For example, we study the Atma, Ekatma Atma. Now that idea, it has to sink in. It has to sink into your deep subconscious level. That is why attending these sessions and also remembering what you have learned, which is what is Anusmaranam, uh, it will help you to understand the deeper topics as we go by. And also, if you can see from the notes, you can get all the mantras of different Upanishads which Shankaracharya is quoting. See, when you read the mantra, the way you do revision is what you should do is you should just read the Shankaracharya's commentary and see whether you can understand that commentary. That will be a good revision. Just the commentary portion, you try to read and see and how he is able to take the concept of Ekatma, how he takes it up slowly. So the mantras he quotes from different Upanishad, like today, for example, I quoted Ishavasya Upanishad. I quoted Bhagavad Gita. So what you should say is, for this idea, these are the mantras. That way, when you try to study, then you will be able to study with a lot of conviction. It requires this is a very serious study, so it requires a little bit of time. But if you develop an art of learning like this, you see, we are going to do the entire bhashyam of Shankaracharya for all these karikas also. So when you do those bhashyams, the style of commentary of Shankaracharya is very, very beautiful. He gives you an idea and then he says he always supports it with Upanishadic mantras. He never gives an idea without Upanishadic mantras. See, that is the best way to study and to really understand the spiritual science. It is the Upanishad which opens up the intellect for all of us towards the vision of the spiritual being, which is our inner content. Normally, we look only at the outside body, but when these mantras are understood by the intellect, each intellect, see, you may understand it all 100%. I don't expect everybody to understand 100%. Even if you get 10%, 20%, it is very good because you are getting used to getting a new vision of this entire life. It is very unique. And that is what is called as moksha. Then your intellect is able to get a complete vision of Mandukya Upanishad as it is prescribed by Shankaracharya. You will you will see a tremendous difference in your understanding of the universe. Okay, so Rama, have I understood? Have I explained to you what you wanted?
Yes, sir. Thank you. And also, Mandukya Upanishad, I think I'm getting an echo.
No problem. I can understand
Yeah,
you. Go ahead.
yeah. I procured a book from the Gita Press, and also I'm following slowly. And yeah, I got the point what you
Very
shared.
good. Very
So,
good.
thank
The Gita Press book is exactly the same commentary which you see, that is in Hindi. And what I am doing is I'm translating that into English and presenting it in this fashion. This is the way I have learned it, the Mandukya Upanishad. So whatever I have learned, I'm trying to present it and give it to you. So good, very good. You learn if you know Hindi, you can read the commentary of the Gita Press in Hindi. That is
yes,
also very
and
good. So go ahead and you just support it with these notes, then your clarity will be very good.
yeah, sure, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. I'm very glad that you are such a serious student. You're able to buy the Gita Press book. See, and then you look at the notes, you try to understand the notes. But the very important thing is formulate your own notes of Mandukya Upanishad.
Sure.
Even if it is just a small 2, 3 lines which you write about one verse, one commentary, doesn't matter. So that when you revise, what happens is these points you will be able to remember very well, and those points will make your vision much more clearer. Good.
Sure, sir.
I will send the notes to all I will circulate the notes, whatever you are saying that, the correct, whatever I am presenting in the class, I will circulate to everybody next week. When I give you this, I will send it to all.
Thank you.
You can also from the WhatsApp, you can send it. If you are already registered in the WhatsApp, Raghu, I will send it to you by email also. Kanan also, I'll send it. I'm very happy. Notes were very thorough and nothing has been missed. Having links to Upanishad is extremely useful. For example, today's session. Right. Okay. Bharat is the person who is helping me with the notes. He is, I just present a rough version. He edits many of it. And what he says is the Taittiriya Upanishad comparisons which we make, they're all very useful. See, that's why when you do Taittiriya Upanishad and Mandukya and you try to understand both of them, in the next week's revision, I will do this a little bit of comparison again. And this way you will and also Kaivalya Upanishad, and then you also take Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Ishavasya Upanishad. See, all these Upanishad things study it together gives you a vision which you can never draw. That is the beauty of this Bhashya. Okay, good. There is nothing else in the chat box. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask.
Sir,
No good.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Who was speaking?
you were speaking, sir. I'm Raghu Kaushik, sir. Hello.
Yeah, Raghu, go ahead.
No, regarding your meditation class, sir, as I'm seeing almost 146 types of meditations already there in line. I started a bit late because Wednesdays I was not there.
Yeah.
So now, how to improve upon? Like I'm feeling that it should be more than that 15 minutes what you are now we are practicing.
Yes.
So, what is the strategy you will suggest to extend it, or what is the process of as you are
Okay,
taking?
I have a link where I have all the 146 meditations I have taken in the link form. That means you can just click and then you can open up the meditation 1 to 146.
No,
I
sir.
don't know whether you received it. Would you like to have that?
Please, sir. My question
Uh,
is, any strategic procedure is there where we should go about, or you are taking a specific like Shankaracharya's things and going along with that? So, any means what should be the right procedure to meditate upon? You want to
okay,
extend it
that's
further.
good. Okay, let me explain. See, Raghu, what we have to do is when you want to meditate, uh, the basic steps are given in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. What you should meditate, how should you sit in the meditation, and so on. The process is given in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now, I'll explain to you. Suppose you are a beginner and you are saying, today is the first time I want to learn meditation. What should be the strategy? The first thing you should do is to fix a specific time every day. Then you can say, I will meditate at that particular time every day. Keep that slot where you are generally free. For example, if you're free in the morning, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, you keep a slot. Or in the evening, you can keep a slot. So step number one is fix a time and don't meditate initially for more than 10 minutes. Okay. I'm telling you a general procedure if you're a beginner. 10 minutes is the maximum. Now, when you start meditation, you just tell yourself that for the next 10 minutes, I will close my eyes and in the beginning stage, suppose you're a completely new beginner, then what I suggest is initially just watch your mind and this is the first level of meditation. I'm telling you the first level, then I'll tell you the intermediate and then the advanced levels. The first level is be a sakshi to your mind. You can do it for one, you can do it for, say, I'm talking if you're a beginner. If you've already done meditation, it's a next level. So as a beginner, just be a sakshi. That means I am consciousness. I am the Chaitanya. Deliberately say it in meditation. For the next 10 minutes, I am going to watch the thoughts which are coming to me. That's all. This is the first step. Practice this for 1 month, 2 months, doesn't matter. Just practice this. Then what will happen? You will get the ability to sit for 10 minutes. Number one. Number two, you will be able to see yourself as consciousness, and there is nothing in the world which is seeing the thoughts except consciousness. You may not know what is consciousness. You only have to say, I am the Sakshi. As consciousness, I will just observe. I will not participate in the thoughts. I will not elongate the meditation. I will only observe. Let any thought come. Okay, doesn't matter. Once you have done this, this is the beginner's level, Sakshi level to your mind. Once you have got used to the mind, what it is, then what happens is immediately when you sit in meditation, you will know that you are already in tune with your mind. The second level of meditation is you bring a simple mantra like Om Namah Shivaya. Chant Om Namah Shivaya, stop. Again, chant Om Namah Shivaya and then stop. This is the second level. Do this again for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maximum. Chant Om Namah Shivaya. Suppose the mind throws other thoughts of the world, again bring it back and say Om Namah Shivaya. Or you take any mantra which you like, any Devi mantra, any mantra you like, you can do that. This is the second stage. The third stage is take up a mantra from either Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads. In my 140 sessions, I have taken the third level predominantly. I've taken a mantra and then I sit down, I remember the mantra in my meditation. Again, if other worldly thoughts come, bring it back. This is called as Vedantic style of meditation. Now, if you want to elongate your meditation, if you feel, yes, the 10 minutes, 5 minutes is too short for me, you can continue for as much time as you want till your mind starts wandering to the world. Don't allow it. The moment your mind starts wandering into the world, just stop your meditation, chant Purnamada, and then stop. So these are the 3 levels of meditations. Follow this in this fashion. Make sure you are always contemplating on a mantra, because that is what is called as meditating with Vedanta. Why is it important? Because when you meditate, that idea which is there in the mantra, it will sink deep into your subconscious mind. For example, today we did this mantra 513, 513th mantra of Vivek Chodamani, where it says that the whole experiences is like a shadow, chaya. Now that is a concept. You will be able to remember this forever when you meditate like this. And my meditation sessions here, which I conduct, they are all tuned for Vedantic study. When you study the Upanishads, you will find after doing these type of meditations, you will find you are able to understand everything. Whatever I'm saying in the class, you can understand A to Z, 100%.
Yes, sir. There only the difference was coming because Rupam, I was always onto some Rupam like Gayatri Mantra and also what we are doing. There we are having a set of words which we are bringing in our mindset. That is not based on any means some Rupam we are already having and we are trying to extend it. May not be that mantra specific, but more onto your what you call the world, like Bhur-Bhuvasva, that world.
Correct.
So we are meditating upon a particular Gayatri Devi or something. So that was easy to concentrate upon on a very specific Devi for a long period of time.
Good. Very good. Kaushik, what I'm saying, Raghu, what I'm saying is, if you have been able to meditate on Gayatri Devi, chant Om Bhur Bhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo na Prachodayat. If you are able to chant this 10 times, 20 times during your meditation sessions, and you're in your vision, if Gayatri Devi is coming up, continue that. Don't change.
No, the Vedantic steps call for means without any roof, where we have to concentrate upon a blank world or anything which is.
No. Don't get into this type of meditations. If you are used to Gayatri Japam meditation, continue that. No need to do this type of meditations. Ultimately, a time will come when it is this Gayatri Devi meditation which you are doing. It has brought you into this type of classes. The phalam of that meditation is you are attending Mandukya Upanishad classes. If you are able to contemplate on the mantras, try what you should do is try to understand one mantra. Suppose you like the seventh mantra, learn it by heart of Mandukya Upanishad. Then you try to see whether you can start contemplating. I'm not calling it meditation. Meditation is your japa, which you are doing, that you can continue. For 5 minutes, take up one mantra and see whether you can think about that mantra for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Closing your eyes.
Thanks.
You can read mantra before. Suppose you can read one mantra before. It can be any mantra from Bhagavad Gita which you want to contemplate, but start doing contemplation on a mantra. Contemplation means thinking of a mantra in your meditation. It will help you a lot in your understanding of Veda.
Well said, sir. But okay, you have to control your mind and also the specific mantras.
Correct. Yes. Controlling your mind, you do it with Gayatri mantra. Learning the mantra and reflecting on the mantra is an additional thing which you're doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. I've got two other people. Shama, go ahead.
Hari Om Shekharji.
Yeah, Shama, tell me.
So, I mean, it's just incredible, like through your talk on the Mandukya Bashyam, you are sort of really bringing on different Vedantic thought strands from different Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and it's all pointing to the same thing, this aikyam.
Yes.
Yeah. Eka Atma.
Atma aikyam, correct.
Yeah, so which is so really seems like and the basic process which I wanted to correct my understanding is it is basically a process of negating. So you're doing all the Panchapusha and all the avasthatraya and all the kind of negation and coming. So it's from outside to in, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
The way, whether you do it as meditation or whether you do it as a normal contemplation or as a part of study. So
Correct.
study is different,
Yes.
which you can be studying even while you're walking about or whatever. That contemplation, manana part of it.
Yes.
That is contemplation, isn't it?
Yes.
And the actual meditation will be literally focused onto one particular whatever you take. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so there is the process of negation first, and then there is integration, which is
Yes.
the aikyam part of it.
Yes.
Which is more or less like every day that process should happen.
Even in your normal day-to-day life, you can, if you have this idea at the back of your mind, then what happens is even in your practical life, you will find it very, very useful.
Yeah. For example, even when you are having a meal, you can so easily look at the food and see this is annam. And as I eat, my body and that annam has become my body. and that body is nothing but, so it's quite easy to, just
Yes.
because.
Now you'll be able to put the things together. You see, when you study
so
yeah, go ahead.
it hits the conscious awareness. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
even the ordinary activities, it kind of comes to this thing. The question which I have is, if you, is there any way of, like, this is almost like you have these scattered, you have thoughts which are like multiple seeds in your mind, which are so scattered all over the place. And there's one way is like you throw away all the rubbish and just keep what you want to need. For example, the Vedantic thoughts, which are the most perfect because it's so nourishing for the self.
Yeah, it nourishes your spiritual being, you see.
Yeah. So how is there a way, or does it automatically happen where the rubbish thoughts are taken care of automatically while the mind is engaged in this process of?
Yes, it happens like that. It happens you see, it's a gradual process. It will happen. Then you will suddenly see your Vedantic thoughts are slowly growing, and then you will find that your mind is full of Vedantic thoughts. And you also have worldly thoughts. Today, how is it? Worldly thoughts is 100%, 90%, and Vedantic thoughts is 10%. But when you listen to this Mandukya Bashyam completely, if you take that as a goal, whatever time it takes doesn't matter. Just say, okay, I'll just listen. Then what happens is the transformation happens. That even in your normal day-to-day life, your Vedantic thoughts will start coming again and again because you have dwelt on it. You have heard so much Shravanam. You have done so much Shravanam. Additional Shravanam leads to contemplation automatically.
Okay.
And more contemplation when you do automatically leads to nididhyasana. It is an automatic process. You don't have to think, is it happening? When will it happen? Forget about all that. Just say, I'm just going to listen. That's all.
That's very reassuring. And if you, during this process, because obviously with a heightened awareness, you're able to see all the process of your mind, it just is so natural because it just comes, you don't have to watch. For instance, like I never thought I was so attached, so the only gratifying thing is I'm attached not to just each and everything, but it's kind of narrowed down, but it's still there. So, and which I don't feel happy about it because I feel, God, my body and mind is still using me to its own whatever purpose it has, my prarabdha. So is there any easy tip you have?
No, the tip is given by Shankaracharya, who says, take all these experiences which you have as mithya. That's all.
Acha, so just dismiss it and nothing more.
Say this is mithya. That is the ultimate solution given by Shankaracharya in all the Upanishad, especially Mandukya. He clearly says, when you come to this third chapter of Mandukya Upanishad, very simple. He says in very simple words, whatever your experiences is mithya. It is not satyam. I am satyam. I am that consciousness principle. Without me, there is no experience, there is no creation at all.
Yeah.
Let that fact be well registered in your mind.
And it will become less and less.
Yeah. Then that is the way to handle life. That's all. Yeah. Good, very good, Shama. I'm glad you're putting all of us into the right method of
just one last thing, and which I don't understand, which is, why do the Buddhists they see after negation of whatever and through their meditation or process, why do they say it's shunya or nothingness? Because I feel it's
That's a
quite
good
the
question.
reverse. It's
Yes,
quite
but
the reverse because I
you,
feel in
yes,
the Upanishadic style of what we are studying, that it's not that I've become nothing. I've actually indeed become everything. So how come
yes,
it is nothing? I actually, the pot has discovered that the pot space is nothing but the space, it's the
yeah.
same
It's
space
the
within
total.
me.
It's a total space. It is. See,
Yeah,
one.
so
Anyway,
exactly. So how can
you.
it be nothing? You're actually quite the reverse. You become everything. So I don't
Yeah,
understand why do they describe it as nothingness?
correct. There will be Shankaracharya's Bhashyam on this. Just wait for it. You will see how they present it and how Shankaracharya answers it.
Sure, sure.
There
Very
is a
nice.
portion coming.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I'll wait. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Yeah, Shanta, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, what Shama said, I was also thinking that you believe in Veda and you don't believe in Advaitam, which was quite strange. But I mean, that was one of the things on my mind, but I will wait for the answer like Shama.
Yeah.
The second thing, what I was going to say is, this Bhagavad Gita, um chapters 9 and verse 4, which you have quoted today, is
Yeah.
Maya tatamidam
Yeah.
sarvam
Maya
jagada
tadamidam sarvam.
vyaktamurtina mastani sarvabhutani
Yes.
nachaham teshatva vastitaha. It is a very beautiful verse, and I remember we've got the same verse, or a similar verse in chapter 7, verse 12, where you're talking about ye chaiva satvika bhavaha rajasa tamasascha ye. Then matye tadveti tan vidhi natvaham teshu temai. Yes, the natvaham teshu temai.
Correct. All the beings
Yeah.
proceed from consciousness. Their bodies are inert, but they all come from consciousness.
Yes. So, I remember I did call you because I had spent a lot of time to understand this Natvaham Teshu Temai. And I remember you explained to me using the Mandukya Upanishad that time. And I was going through verse by verse. There is a link on your website. And I remember the Bhagavad Gita, we did not go through verse by verse. I mean, I did it on my own from the notes. But when I was going through the videos, chapter 7 and 9, you didn't do verse by verse. As a result, this, when I learned as a Bhagavad Gita, through the videos, this bit was missed out. And so when I started learning the verses by heart, this is when I, got stuck at it. And for the benefit of everybody, I just want to share this because it is very um, it just lights you up when you really realize that na tvaham teshu temai, that I'm not in them, they are in me. And the
Yes.
beautiful example the lady, I mean the speaker has given in that is, imagine you're in a dance program in the night, and you can have the dance on the stage, and but nobody can enjoy it, nobody can see it unless there is light. So, although light is not the part of the dance, it has got nothing to do with the dance. The dance is going on, but the light actually makes it enjoyable and you can see it. And that is what, like, I'm not in you, but you're in me, because without me, you're not
There
there.
is no dance floor.
Yes. So that was very beautifully explained. And I think that really stuck me. And therefore, whether it is chapter 7, verse 12, or chapter 9, verse 4, I get very, sorry, somebody, okay, I get quite attracted to.
Yeah, very
Um,
good. Yeah, that's correct. It's see, many a times in Bhagavad Gita, you'll find several verses which all talk about ekatvam, ekatvam, ekatvam.
yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, but how would you, again, I know we are doing Mandukya, but I'm just trying to connect all my dots. In chapter 13, verse 31, where he says, Yada bhuta pratham bhavam ekasto manupashyati tata eva cha vistaram Brahma Sampadyate Tatha. That one, where the bhoot, I've just tried to understand this verse and I was a bit stuck. If I'm sure everybody, it is also covered, in the Mandukya thing, where the one who sees, the man sees the whole variety of being resting in one. That's the explanation which is given, and spreading from that alone, and he becomes Brahman. Now, that is what I found it a bit difficult to understand. The,
Okay.
Tata eva cha vistaram Brahma sampadyate tatha. I found, if you could explain that, and I think which also links with, when we talk about Mandukya Upanishad, that the samashti, the whole, the individual ultimately resolves in the samashti, and then you are, um, that's when you realize that you are Brahman. I believe there is that connection with with this verse. Is it right?
Yeah, you are right. I see this verse, the 31st verse of the 13th chapter,
Yeah.
is very much linked to the Ishavasya Upanishad, the 6th and the 7th.
Okay.
And it is very much linked to the 4th and the 5th mantra of chapter 9.
Yes.
Nachamastani
Yes.
Bhutani,
Yes.
and
Yes.
then Yatha Bhuta Pratak Bhavam and the Ishavasya Upanishad, they are all linked. Now, I'll give you a very simple way to understand this verse. Yada Bhuta Pratak Bhavam Ekam
Ekasta anupashyati.
Anupashyati. That means what? The whole variety of beings. Bhuta Pratak Bhavam. Living beings are many. Bhuta Pratak Bhava. Pratak means they are different varieties. There are many living beings, and they are all bhutas, living beings. Now, all these living beings, Lord Krishna says in this 13th chapter, because this is the Vedantic chapter of Bhagavad Gita. All the living beings are in one. They're all resting in one adhishtanam, which is consciousness. All the pots are in space. The pot is like the living being with a body. Pots are many. Bodies are many. Body and the pot is mithya. The content of the pot is space. The content of the body is consciousness. That is satya. So you can drop the body or the pot by saying they are mithya. Mithya means they don't have an independent existence. Matter cannot exist independent of consciousness.
But then you have
Without
bhavam.
consciousness, there is no matter in creation.
Yeah, but then
So,
what you're saying is bhuta prathak bhavam. So you have
bhava,
got,
bhuta pratak bhava means all the living beings are thinking that they are separate from that consciousness. The mind
so that is that feeling, because bhavam, I
ah,
was thinking that it
is
was
the
our
feeling.
thoughts. Yeah, okay. Okay.
That bhavam, the feeling of all the jiva is I am different than Shanta. Shanta is different than Shama. This is Maya Shakti of Ishwara.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, Pritak Bhava means the Jiva Bhava. The Jivatvam is the Pritak Bhava. But the Brahmatvam is the Ekatvam Anupashyati. Anupashyati means what? Again and again the Jiva sees that I am not the body, mind, and the Bhava, which is the Jiva Bhava, but it is Brahma Bhava, which is where the entire all the living beings are resting in that one. You are resting in consciousness. I am resting in consciousness. The world is resting in consciousness. That is the teaching. Okay, so this is the first portion of that mantra, that
Yeah.
all the beings are resting in one consciousness.
Mm.
Then what? That consciousness is the ultimate one, which is all pervading in the world. And that consciousness is called as Brahman. See, whenever we have this consciousness and the world, you have to use the world is in consciousness and one consciousness is in the world. Both the visions you should get in your mind, so that you can you can easily understand the final message of the Bhagavad Gita. The message is the same what we are understanding Mandukya also, that there is one consciousness only. From that consciousness only, all our waking states are coming. Your waking state, my waking state. It is coming and then it is disappearing. In the sleep state, the whole world disappears. Myself, I also disappear. And into that consciousness only, if you understand in this fashion, the Bhagavad Gita and also the Mandukya Upanishad, Shankaracharya brilliantly will bring out all these connections. That is the ultimate beauty of Bhashyam. You see, it is a pleasure to learn the Bhashyam, because you get connected with Bhagavad Gita, you get connected with Ishwara Upanishad, and Shankaracharya's favorite Upanishad in Mandukya Upanishad is Vedanta Upanishad. We normally don't know anything about Vedanta Upanishad. Such a big Upanishad. It is huge. But Shankaracharya, he has got all the verses of Vedanta Upanishad in his fingertips. And the maximum quotation in Mandukya is from Vedanta.
Okay.
Good, Shama.
Yes,
Both Shanta, both of you have, are dwelling on this subject matter, and you are doing a lot of independent study. I'm very happy that you're doing this and you're trying to connect it with what we are studying in the class, in these sessions, which is very beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just making an attempt to
Oh,
learn
no,
and
very
pick
good,
up
very
the,
good. It
the
shows the amount of sincerity in the study which you are having.
Yeah, no, the 13th chapter is so beautiful. I cannot get over it, and I've learned almost all the verses by heart.
Good, very good. I
As a
always
result
recommend,
of that.
yes, I always recommend people to learn 13th chapter by heart first, because you need that verses in your mind all the time.
Yeah.
Ekastamanu Pashati. And it is that one Atma which is there. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vitti sarva kshetreshu bharata.
Yeah.
When you combine the Upanishadic study with the Bhagavad Gita study, you'll find a lot of joy. You'll find all the meanings are clicking,
Yeah.
which makes the
It
study very
is.
interesting.
It is very interesting. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
Anything else from others? Otherwise, we will stop.
I think Bharatji was raising his hand. Was he?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. So we'll catch up next week and we'll continue our study. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Yeah. Namaste.
Namaste, Anand.
Namaste, Ji. Yeah.
Nice to see you around.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste. Anand, are you able to understand these? You have attended a lot of these sessions before.
Yeah. No, I've been through Chinmaya Mission. I've been studying and teaching a little bit, so understand those. Yeah, I've done all the operations through Chinmaya Mission. Yes.
Okay, so you
Your
must be one
classes
of the
are really very good. Yeah.
Yeah, you are one of the teachers in the Chinmaya Mission.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, in Boston we were for quite some time.
Okay, in Boston. Are you still in Boston?
We are now in Pittsburgh, so I'm teaching at Carnegie Mellon. You're still in Pittsburgh now.
Oh, you're teaching in Carnegie Mellon.
That's right. Yes, we just moved to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Oh, very good. You are
Yeah.
with Venkateshwar there.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
that's very good.
that was very,
And
very interesting and very thoughtful, right? So again, it's a good revision as well as a lot of depth in.
so, have you taught Mandukya Upanishad before?
I've not taught Mandukya. I've taught all the other 9. The last one that I left was Mandukya. I've not taught, but I've learned it from some of my teachers.
Yes.
It's the best one. So
Okay, very good. You try to teach Mandukya Upanishad, the 12 mantras to your group, and
yes.
then you see it will give you, it will be a good experience.
Yeah.
And the karikas, you can leave it for the future. What you can do is just teach only the 12 mantras.
Yes.
And the karikas, you can, maybe take it up at a later point of time.
Yes.
Uh,
No. Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, Anand. Nice to
Yeah. Thank you very much.
speak
Nice.
to you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Shekharji.
Thank you, Sumana. Thank you.